Minister, I know the powers are with you, but they are subjected to balance and checks. I wrote a letter on the 8th of July seeking clarity on the process that you had followed on the appointment of boards. Can I check with you, which process have you followed when you were appointing the panel? Mind you, you said it's an independent panel according to your response. Which process have you followed when you appointed the panel, and which piece of legislation guided that process? I'll rather stop there, Chair. Take them one by one.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to first, before I answer, just say that I'm 15 minutes over the time, but I want to answer because I was waiting for Honorable Kgabo's thing. I'll just check the act that we follow. I just want to see. Well, I don't have the act here, but I think the act can be given. But all I want to say is that I have followed the act to the letter. There's nothing that was required of me as a minister to do that I've not done. I've also not gone and deviated from what the act required, step by step. Transparently, I've done that. And if there's any matter that Honorable Kgabo can point out where you think I didn't follow the act, I'm gladly willing to answer that specific allegation. But where I'm sitting, my answer is that I have followed the act to the letter. Thank you very much, Honorable Kgabo.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thanks, Minister. Maybe while we are awaiting, I don't doubt your response in relation to you, or not suspecting otherwise, but I would gladly prefer that you indicate which piece of legislation has guided you so that we are able to refer. The second question to you, Minister, it has been indicated that the entity has been without a CEO for the past 5 years. And probably for the past year, we have had an acting CEO seconded from the department. We had an appointed CEO who abruptly resigned. We are now sitting with the acting CEO seconded from the department. I wanted to check with you, is it true that you are the one who have appointed the acting CEO, seconding him or her to the entity?
Which one are you talking about? There's been different ones.
Okay, let me start here. Who's the acting CEO?
DG?
Let's stick to the process up until the second. Who appointed the acting CEO that was seconded? It is alleged that the minister appointed the acting CEO contradicting the act. I think it's section 14, if not mistaken. So my question is, who appointed the acting CEO? Because allegations are that instead of the board, according to the act, it is the minister. I'm not sure if I've read it correctly. Can you get clarity on that, DG?
Okay, may I take that one, Chair?
Please respond immediately.
Yes. As the DG has said, there was a request from the NFVF for a secondment, which is allowed in terms of the Public Service Act, that a minister can second an official of the department to an entity, and that is subjected to a secondment agreement that is signed between the minister, the council of the NFVF, and the seconded employee must agree to that. So that's the process that was followed. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Can you please confirm which act is that so that you are able to verify? Because, you know, I would like to appeal to you also. You are not addressing your high school children or students here. You are addressing legislators. So when you speak of the legislation, don't threaten us. Tell us, I've used section 144 of this act to follow this process. I'm still waiting. I'm allowing the minister. I'm dragging this process so that the minister can also check the act that I've requested from him. Can you get clarity? If you don't have the response, the DG will gladly do that. Thanks.
While you wait, can I just give him the act?
Chief Minister.
All right, it's the NFVF Act, section 62.c. This section, along with other provisions of the Act, underpins the legal framework for the Minister to establish a process for appointing the council members. That's the Act. And also, just lastly, Chair, I've stayed 20 minutes over. I just need to answer the last issue. We don't just decide we want to appoint an acting person. The board writes to us as the department and then request of us to appoint. In as far as the acting positions are concerned, it greatly bothered us. We had a CEO. People resign, and it's personal matters for people. You can't stop them. I think there was an attempt to stop the CEO from resigning, if I'm not mistaken, but he has left, and there was nothing we could do about it. So we're back through the process again. Am I excused? I've stayed 20 minutes over.
The foundation shall act through a council consisting of no fewer than 9 and no more than 14 members. 6.2 subsection A, the members shall be appointed by the minister from a short list of no more than 22 names. It is my argument that this section refers to the appointment of the board or the council. My question, it is the appointment of the acting CEO who has been seconded. That's why I wanted to check with the minister, because the minister has quoted section 6 subsection 2B, and I'm referring to this subsection in terms of the appointment of the CEO. It is for that 2B, and I'm referring to this subsection in terms of the appointment of the CEO. It is for that.
I have made a ruling. I'll start from that corner down here. Now I see other hands.
I'm not happy with the response of the minister. From where I'm sitting, the minister has not responded to our questions in terms of how did he appoint the panel. And we all heard how the minister was misinterpreting, not to mention misquoting, the act that should have guided him. And it is for that reason, Chairperson, that I would like to propose to this committee that we should take another step forward. I've written to the minister. The minister's response is extremely empty. I've observed how the minister was responding to Honorable Mthethwa. It is the very same stinking attitude that our arts and culture practitioners are complaining about. When you listen to his response and you go through the response that he has delivered to the protesters who are complaining, amongst other issues, about the irregularities that we are experiencing in this meeting, when you go through the response of the minister, you'd realize that the minister has forgotten that he's presiding over a public entity. When you are presiding in a public entity, every little step and decision that you are taking, we are going to hold you accountable. In the previous meeting, we had proposed that we must request a legal intervention or legal unit to intervene on this matter. And the intervention, we must correctly put it. The intervention that we need is what then happens when the minister deliberately does not respond to your questions. Because every time we are here, we ask the minister a question, the minister will ask things that we are not responding to. So I'm not sure how we're going to approach this matter, because the appointment generally of the boards, not only this NVEVF, is highly questionable. And it is for that reason that I would not be comfortable interacting with the board, because their legitimacy is still under question. I'll rather raise my issues with those who have been dealing with the day-to-day administration of the foundation. That is my first issue. My second issue is that, Chairperson, we should be reaching out to as a portfolio, we will advise how do we approach this matter. We should begin to reach out to the president that has appointed this minister. It cannot be right that a person who oversees or presides over public funds will not want to be held accountable. When you try and hold him accountable, he'll give you a facial expression that, in a way, I want to interpret it as a person trying to intimidate you. Fortunately, some of us were not easily intimidated. I thought I must raise that part, Chairperson. Because all of these decisions that the minister has taken for the past 10, if not 12 months, they are found wanting in terms of the legal prescripts that guide whatever process that he has taken. I must mention that the decision of the minister to disband this foundation before, we had no reasons. He never presented reasons. Up until today, we still don't understand what are the reasons. The minister went on to deal with the appointment of the panel. I personally asked the minister, where do you get these people? Have you handpicked them? From where I'm sitting, I'm convinced that the minister has handpicked these people. And you cannot have a minister who would want to exercise his powers inconsistent with the constitution. The constitution of this country, central to the key pillars, is transparency. So I'm not sure you'll advise us on how we're dealing with this matter, because clearly all of these boards, their appointment process is highly questionable. And if all of these boards' appointments are highly questionable, then these boards must preside over the appointment of CEOs. It will then create a problem for the department. I would want us to look at it from that angle. You see the board that we are questioning now, or that is having a dark cloud over his head, it's dealing with the process of appointing a CEO. What are the implications of that? It then means that you had a board that did not have the necessary local standing or legal standing point to oversee a process that they are not legitimate to oversee. If it happens, according to my face value analysis, that this board, its process of being appointed, including its parliament, it's highly questionable, and the minister is unable to present. In my letter I've sent to the minister, I've said to him, provide me with the academic background of each and every panel member and indicate which piece of legislation has guided you when you were appointing these people. The minister has failed to do that. It is for that reason, Chairperson, I would want us to, as a committee, resolve that all of these boards, we must request legal unit to assist us in scrutinizing this process. Because in all honesty, I'm therefore convinced that the minister has picked panel members who were then expected to deliver a particular outcome that will be biased to a particular angle. That is my observation, and I stand to be corrected, and it is for that reason, Chairperson. I'm going to get to my points. I thought it is important that I must raise this thing, because what we got here, it's a response of a toddler, not a minister. We're not expecting that response from a minister in terms of the process that you have followed. The reason why I'm saying that is a toddler's response. How do we get a minister, practical example, saying that he has used section 6, subsection 2. When you go to that section, it speaks of a different story. That is my issue.